Welcome to the Awfl podcast, a podcast for the creative and non-creative alike. We invite you to join the Awfl Nation and help us build a creative community of underdogs making something out of nothing. On this episode, we discuss creative writing, sales strategies, and developing digital products in a digital world. Don't forget to subscribe and let's get awful. Let's go. Welcome to the Awfl podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing good, dude. Just winding down the weekend here. Sunday action.
Word. I've been sitting here for a couple hours working on a lot of the ideas that we've been talking about on the podcast. The kind of the newsletter idea I've been working on. I went on like a 20-minute rant in my car this morning, and I didn't film it. I dictated it, so I had the notes from it, so I could recreate it when I got here. So that was pretty cool. That's what I've been working on. It was kind of similar to that last one, that 10-minute one that I posted.
Okay.
But it was, I don't know, it went really well, and I did some more video stuff while, we're waiting to get on the podcast. I tried some different stuff with the videos, so yeah, it's going cool. What have you been working on in your lab?
Not much. I've been trying to get this a little bit more set up in here, get a little bit of lights, try to figure it out. It's still a work in progress, but I'm already liking this a little more than the setup I had on our previous episodes of this. So
I really dig that background
nonetheless, but I want to dial it in more. I bought some of those lights. I think we talked about it a couple times. They're like those softbox lights where it's on a stand. It's on kind of a tripod. It's a big light, and then there's kind of this fabric you put over it to kind of soften it.
Right.
And there was this deal where there was two of them. It was like you can buy one for a certain price, or they had the deal where you get two of them, and the second one was like only a little bit more. So I did that, but I haven't set the second one up yet. So we'll see. I feel like these lights are so big, they're just gonna, I don't know if I'm lighting me up or if I'm lighting the whole entire room up. So I'm still kind of.
I can see, like, it looks like, is it right on your face?
Yeah. So it's kind of at like a 45-degree angle, and then it's tipped down towards me. It's kind of tall up and tipped down.
Okay.
And a lot of the tutorials and stuff you see, they say to set one like that, but then there's like a strategic way to set the second one. Maybe it's not facing directly at you; it's lighting. I don't know. I have to look back into that. But I've got the second one. I just got to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging this. I like the way this looks. I got one kind of facing out. Actually, they're both facing out and away from me with the backdrop in the back. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not too horrible.
Yeah, you got the studio feel going for sure. So yeah, man, we're getting better and better.
Well, at least the appearances, it appears better and better. If you looked around the room right now, you'd be like, man, this is a mess. But right here in the frame, it looks all right.
Now you got to take. We need to tour the studio now. Get the camera down. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it.
I was gonna say, you don't want to see that. Just empty water bottles everywhere.
Nice. Yeah, man. We've been talking. We've been game planning some different ways that we can bring value to an audience. Different ways to build an audience. Kind of create a community. So
yeah, we're
moving right along. I think we've got a really good start on the direction we want to go. Obviously, we want to kind of, be the guinea pigs for it, right?
Yep.
Be the first people to do it. So I think the industry that you work in, aside from your content creation, would be a great way to maybe show that some of these sales strategies, some of these marketing strategies can work.
Yeah.
And then I've been really wanting to, network and create more of a relationship with some of the local businesses out in my neck of the woods. Ponca City, I'm pretty close to, and then I'm really only a couple hours from some of your bigger cities. We've got Tulsa, we've got Oklahoma City, so I'm trying to think of some ways where I can maybe start growing some relationships with some of the businesses out in that area as well.
So after our call yesterday, I was thinking about that, because I'm fixing to dive into some of those strategies we were talking about yesterday. Like we said, we're going to try to do these strategies before we offer them to the Awfl Nation. But I was after we talked last night, I fucking completely forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I think we can almost talk about just your current journey, because you've been growing a lot just with your content creation. You've been putting a lot of work into this lately, and just from doing this, you've been meeting really incredible people. You've been connecting with people that own businesses and people that have their own thing going, whether it's not a full-blown business, maybe they're writing books, maybe they're doing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's almost been kind of an organic, not necessarily intentional byproduct of all this work you're doing with your content creation and the media company that you've been working so hard on. So That almost speaks to what we've been talking about, how we can help other people become more impactful in their community, start marketing themselves and creating relationships with local businesses, because you're not even necessary. That's not even your objective with a lot of what you've been doing. And it's
Right.
still just happening either way.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with my personality. I think it all happens accidentally, just because my personality lends itself to like, what are you up to? What are you doing? Let's get involved. I do this. Can that work with you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. A lot of that work you've been doing at the Rotary Club. And I don't know, just when you're out in the community, it sounds like even when you're doing your other job, or I can picture you being at the store waiting in line, the grocery store or something,
Yeah.
meeting people that way. So a lot of it is your personality.
Right.
And even in situations where people might not be as much of a social butterfly, I think you still stand to create these relationships and meet more people and connect that way
Yeah.
regardless, just because it's kind of the nature of the beast, especially if we kind of put a step-by-step guide on how to take these, how to do that basically.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you. I after we talked yesterday, so I'm thinking about businesses. I'm a roofer by day. That's what I do to earn income. So I knock on doors and I try to get on the roof so I can replace them. So when we were talking about businesses, now I want to try to reach out to businesses, but where I came up short when I was thinking about it is like, what kind of businesses do I target? What I didn't know where to go. Is it a Chick-fil-A? Is it a personal printing, a dude that owns a printing shop? So I
Great
gotta
question.
I gotta try to narrow that scope down to what businesses I'm gonna target. What businesses do I want to have a relationship with?
Yes.
So
Okay, so that's a really good question. That brings some ideas to mind just kind of on the spot here. So when you say something like Chick-fil-A, when you're looking at franchises, larger businesses that maybe that local place in your town is just an extension of, you know, fast food. There's all sorts of franchises out there.
right,
I even came across a chiropractor once. He looked like it was just a regular chiropractor. Turns out it's a franchise that he's part of, and it's like makes life easier for you. A lot of the stuff's already done for you in terms of being a chiropractor, but there's kind of it's a trade off. And so I'm trying to build this relationship with him, and there ends up being a lot of red tape because of all the policies and everything that you have to follow being a part of that franchise.
right.
So it ends up being a lot more of there's way more gatekeepers than you'd think if you're trying to go to a
Franchise.
local. Yeah. I know a gentleman who he had multiple Wendy's franchises and he sold them and he started a bar. And the bar is great. He does a great job with it, but something that he had to learn really quick and didn't think about until he was kind of in the trenches of starting this bar that's not part of a franchise. You take for granted how much of the marketing, advertising, branding, how much of the supply chain is already done for you. And
All right.
so there's a trade off, right? You got to play by their rules, but it turns out their rules are pretty good. You know what I
They're
mean?
gonna
Like a
hook you
lot of
up.
it's done for you. So in terms of if you're trying to get out and you're trying to meet local business owners and create relationships and try to bring value to those business owners, be able to pick up the slack where they're too busy to kind of go certain directions to continue to grow their business. I would say one, yeah, if the owner of that Chick-fil-A is someone that lives in town, it usually isn't. It's usually a big company that owns a few of the franchises. But I
Right.
mean, by all means, meet the guy and great relationship to have. But in terms of the stuff you'll be able to do for the Chick-fil-A, you're not going to be able to do much. You're not going to be able to really help them do marketing, that kind of stuff.
No.
And it's going to end up being this thing where reach out to so and so, the regional offices, then corporate offices, and someone's going to eventually tell you no because they're already working with people that are huge.
Yeah, they're paying. They got people on staff handling that shit. So you mean to
So
tell
mom,
me that me as a creator, I'm not going to get anywhere with Chick-fil-A as a business?
it's funny you mentioned that too, because if you think about it, there are maybe actually Wendy's is a good example of that. Burger King, if you sometimes see the people running those Twitter accounts,
Yeah.
they're really meany and they're really funny, and it almost feels like it could be just your homie. It could like that's something my buddy would tweet. You know what I mean? Like talking
Right.
smack and everything. So it's funny you mention that because it kind of goes full circle in some regards. I'm
Yeah.
sure that there's a whole team of people behind writing those tweets, but it feels like it's just
Absolutely.
it feels like it's some unhinged guy that shouldn't be on Twitter sometimes, and that's hilarious, right?
Right.
But in terms of okay, let's say you're out prospecting your local town. You're in a city, maybe 100,000 population, and you're driving around, you're looking at businesses, you're looking for, and they're not always super noticeable. They don't stick out. A lot of the times they don't have that big sign. They're not going to be something that's done really well. Mom and pop, owner operator. A lot of the times it's going to be business to business companies too. Because you get on the outskirts of that town, you get on the fringes of that town, and there's all the, think about it, every town has like their warehouses, and they're like, you know, you can rent a space, it's a warehouse. It's off the beaten path. It's not necessarily meant to drive foot traffic into your business because you're a drywall company, or you're a company that manufactures some little widgets, and you got your crew of people that make it there and that kind of stuff. Those businesses are huge. Those businesses are big to work with. You can help them in a lot of ways. And then you've got your direct to consumer. And I guess a lot of what we want to do, if we're helping companies grow and market and, help them maybe on the content side and that kind of thing, you're going to want to be looking at people that are maybe direct to consumer. So maybe the local flower shop, local restaurant. There might be somebody with a shoe store, coffee shops, food trucks. There's still a lot of businesses out there that do that sort of thing. Every town has a bunch of them. Yeah. And those are the good people to get in front of, build relationships with, and talk to, that kind of thing. And yeah, man, I think in terms of, because we were talking about different tiers. Let's say that you already have something that you're trying to sell to businesses. You're already doing it. You're already full blown doing it. You're somewhat successful, but you can always talk to more business owners. Law firms are a really big one.
Ooh, yeah.
Doctors, that kind of thing. Professional services, those people always want to talk to more businesses. Yeah. Financial service people, insurance people, that kind of stuff. And let's say you're doing that and you're just trying to find a way to connect with more businesses, and you need a step-by-step way to, help do more of that. That could be the first tier, to where you already got your thing you're selling. You've already got, your reason behind wanting to talk to business owners. So first tier is, okay, all you need is the meat and potatoes of this. All you need is a step-by-step process from beginning to end, something that you can take steps towards every day, and you're going to eventually load your pipeline with more and more contacts, more and more relationships. Now, a lot of the message behind AWFL, the up-and-comer, the person, picking themselves up, dusting themselves off, and getting into it, and just something from nothing. You're just trying to bounce up, and you're not sure what direction to go, but you're ready to go, and you believe in yourself, and you know that you could do anything. Just, show me what to do, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm not scared. Nothing's gonna stop me.
Right, that hunger.
But you don't really have your thing to sell, right? You don't really have you're not in the insurance business. You're not doing anything yet. So now we need something to sell, some way that you can provide value to these businesses. That could be the next tier. So this next tier is, not only are we showing you how to get in front of these businesses, but we're giving you a full menu of services to offer these businesses that you can do, and we'll show you how to do this. This isn't hard. And a lot of it comes down to content creation. So basically, you're going to have your own website. You're going to have a place that shows, you're basically a proof of concept of what you can do for these businesses.
Right.
You've got your coupon page, you've got your blog, you've got all sorts of things. You've got your survey, you've got a bunch of stuff like that. And you're like, hey, I can show you how I can do something similar for your business that's going to establish you as more of an authority than your competitors you're going to have your own, essentially, and we can call it blog. I think people kind of tune out when you say the word blog. It's an overused word, and a lot of people don't really understand it exactly, like how that works. It's like, a lot of people don't read blogs. It's funny because there's these blogs that are so freaking big. It's like, how'd you get so
No
big?
one's reading them.
I've never read a single blog in my life. But, it's the same thing as saying that you could call that a news website. You could literally say that you're a columnist, that you're an editor, that you're a news editor, because that's what you're doing. You're covering things like it's like the news, or a newsletter. So a lot of business owners have heard create your own newsletter. A lot of businesses have a newsletter because it's a great way to build an email list and that sort of thing. Yeah. You can manage that for them. You can basically become their content marketer, and you can show them the different ways that benefits. Content meaning newsletter, content meaning
Videos.
content meaning, yes, maybe some sort of
Maybe we do some
podcast.
training videos for them. Like maybe they have processes that they have to train their new people on. Maybe we
Yeah,
help with that. You know what I mean?
there's a bunch of ways. Yeah, so these are all things that you can do, and it's if you believe in yourself and you know that if you just set your mind to something, you can do it. We can show you how to do it, dude. It's so funny. Your resolutions going in and out.
Yeah.
And right now, it's super clean. It looks like I'm wondering if that's what the final product looks like.
It does.
Like
Because yours looks blurry to me almost the whole time until I download it.
yeah. Yours was kind of blurry there for a second too. So I want to keep learning more about this, how to get it high def.
Probably just the buffering.
Yeah, it's probably something with the internet signal, but
Right.
and when you upload, not to go on a side tangent, are there options? Because the few YouTube videos I've made and stuff, there's an option to upload it 4K,
Yep.
but it takes forever to upload. But it
Yeah.
comes out super, super clean. And I'm noticing
Yeah.
some of the stuff you've done, it's a little more on the blurry side. And I don't know what that is. It's like sometimes it's clean, sometimes it's not. And I'm getting the same thing with the stream. Either way, yeah.
I
I'm
think a lot
excited
of the
about,
stuff that we stream that we're recording with the internet, I see that too. Like it'll go in and out. Like it'll just be blurry for a second and then it'll go back. But when I edit, I put it into CapCut and I export everything at 4K. I just started doing this for like a week, so I've been exporting in 4K, and it seems to look better. It's my shit. I made it, so it's hard for me to judge it. But
yeah,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that do content and use CapCut, and their stuff comes out super clean, super high def. I'm just trying to figure out how much of that is the lighting, how much of that is the quality of the camera, how much of that is making sure that all the settings are correct when you're uploading it. So
here, well, I just made a 10-minute video, and then I made a 50-second clip. I haven't really watched it because I was uploading until we got to record. You want to watch it real quick and see what it looks like? Let's see if we can judge it from after I'm done doing it. Let's see. Look at the TikTok. Shit, where'd it go? Crap. Sorry, I got like 1,000 tabs open.
I disappeared for a second. I will be right back. I'm moving this light to kind of see if I like it better straight on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in charge of the editing. We don't have any pressure with this. What do you think? All right, check it out. I made the thumbnail. I've been working on that too, like trying to make a thumbnail with each piece that I make. But here we go. Let's check it out.
Thumbnail looks good. Jason right there, and that's good. I like it.
What the hell? Mastering your insecurities and recovering from failures. Stop caring what other people think about you. And what I mean by that is like someone cuts you off in traffic, you got to get over that immediately. Or like when you go to the gym and you think that everybody's looking at you. They just might be. But one day, after you've been going to the gym for a while, you'll catch a glimpse in the mirror of yourself one day and be like, oh, that's what they were looking at. I know it sounds a lot easier than it is, but like everything else that I usually talk about, it's a practice, it's a habit, it's a discipline. You're not going to kill it every time.
You're not going to kill it every time.
Coming to grips with that you're not going to kill it every time, is crucial, especially for creative. Well, that's just a clip, but that video is like 10 minutes long. It still looks not 4K to me.
Dude, when you go to the gym, everybody is looking at you because you're repping 225 like you're at the freaking combine, bro.
Day shit. But it didn't start like that. Dude, I think I put a 25s on and I couldn't even like get it up twice. Like when I started this. Like a lot in the beginning when I started working out, I couldn't do 5 push-ups. I couldn't do 5 sit-ups. I could probably do 1,000 right now.
It took a little while to activate those Islander muscles, dude.
Yeah, 40 years.
You're gonna be looking like your brothers, man.
Yeah, man. Working on it. But dude, so I don't know. I uploaded it in 4K and it still looks not 4K.
I can't tell because I'm getting, like we were saying earlier, I don't know if it's the stream or...
Oh, right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be something to that. I know there's options, and I can't remember. It's been a while since I made one, and I can't remember exactly there was something to it when you had to upload the super high quality. There was, I forget what it was, but there was something extra you had to do, I believe, and it took a long time to do it. I've got this Canon EOS M. It was like pretty nice, like in like 2012.
Yeah.
But they're actually still pretty good. And there's this new firmware that you can upload to that certain camera. It's called Magic Lantern. I think I was telling you about it, but it allows you to basically record in like 4K RAW and get like super cinematic like feel. Like it almost feels like a movie camera.
Yeah.
I haven't really messed with that part of it, but just the camera as it is. I've done a couple YouTube videos for work stuff, and I wonder if I could find it because they look pretty good. They came out pretty good. I did the 4K option, even though the camera only goes up to like 1080, but it was still close enough to where it looked pretty good actually.
Yeah, dude. I love my drone. It films in 4K, but you can't zoom in any at all. Then it like ruins the quality. Like it's very good from far.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is to get the higher quality, you have to go slower frame rate.
Okay.
You need like a really nice camera if you're going to get 4K and a good frame rate. So like on a drone's moving. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I don't know how good that frame rate is to get stuff while you're moving and 4K.
Right.
I believe.
It uses the gimbb, the camera, you know.
On this page, but it doesn't look like it's here anymore. So I don't know. Let's keep chatting, and I'll see if I can't find it on. It's such a low-ranking video. It's probably got like 100 views that I don't remember the exact titles for it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it'll even come up unless I'm searching it by exactly what it's called. Let me see.
Yeah, I've been trying that new. So I did this video today, and I've found some new things in CapCut, and I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to keep the attention throughout the video. So I change angles, or I mess around with the colors on some frames, add some stock video footage from the internet, some free stuff, just to try to. I'm trying to capture what the recipe is for going viral. There's plenty of recipes, and I'm trying to figure that out. Doing a little market research.
Just keep messing with it. A lot of people say that there's a ton of content that they make before they even start really getting views. You can dot every I, cross every T, but until you're consistently doing it, that's when the algo will start picking you up. And, it just takes a while. It really does. That's what everybody says.
Comparatively, though, if I look at a piece that I made 3 years ago and look at one now, night and day difference, just in the quality and what I'm going for here. But what I really want is I want to put out a video and someone's like, man, that's super professional. Someone that knows me, like, man, that's a really professional video. That's my indicator, but we'll get there.
Okay, let's see here. Let's try to share this. I found it. Found it.
There we go. Storm Brady.
Oh, Saturday night.
Cool. Yeah. The internet. Well, a lot of the editors, a lot of the people that used to be really good columnists for, New York Times, name any one of them.
Right.
They've just gone independent on Substack now. So they just write for themselves because you can make money on Substack. People can subscribe to you and stuff right on there. So that's huge.
Dude, I think I might switch that up. Like I've had my Substack going for probably like 6-8 months now. And there is options. I don't know if I don't have any paid subscribers because I didn't set it up yet. But I haven't really focused on Substack, but everything I post as far as podcast goes, I send a copy to Substack. So it's really jumbled. So almost above average, partial intelligent, and Awfl are all littered through my Substack. And then pieces that I just write, thoughts that I have, I just, write pieces on there. So it's a jumble, just like my YouTube page. But
I didn't know you were that active on there. So you can put podcasts and stuff on there, huh?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't really look at it much. I kind of just post it and forget about it. But let's look at my Substack and see what we got.
I've heard so much about Substack. I'm sure a lot of the people that we follow and read, they're on here probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. 2 subscribers from the app. I got 12 subscribers. See, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
What does your written stuff look like on there? Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's it. Where is my written stuff?
That's funny. It doesn't look. It looks like Dan Coe's not even on here.
No,
He just runs everything on his own site.
I like that.
Oh, what was that? Is that your Substack?
Yeah,
Yeah, that looks cool. Your banner looks cool.
but I'm trying to find where I wrote a few pieces. Oh, that's one. No, that's not. Oh yeah, here's a couple things. That's what it looks like when you write something. But yeah, man, Substack is a good spot.
Dude, you're not messing around. You're writing some serious stuff.
I'm trying. Yeah, I like. I mean, we've known each other a while. I've always liked writing. You know, I did good in English and creative writing. I'm sure you did too.
Dude, if I gained nothing else from college, I got that bachelor's in marketing that I feel like everything I know when it comes to business or marketing was not learned in school. But if I didn't get anything, it was how to write. It was how to write.
Yeah,
You got to like writing's the foundation to getting through those classes. You know, English 101, whenever you hear 101, you think it's like super easy, super beginner. Dude,
yeah,
English 101 will kick your ass, especially because that's kind of you're not, you don't really know how to write yet.
yeah,
Until you get into that. And then English 102 is kind of a reiteration of that, a little more refined. But after that, especially after you start getting into your 200, 300, and like 400 level courses and your capstones, if you don't have that writing foundation, you're not getting through that upper stuff because you're having to write
right.
papers, you're having to get crazy with a bunch of stuff. And it's not even in like English anymore. It's like more like specialized courses in different types of topics, but you have to have that writing foundation. So yeah, my ability to write came from that, and I'm grateful for that. That's definitely something I learned.
Were you a good writer before you went to college?
No, I mean, like when you say creative writing, I think just being able to be creative and artistic, you're not going to suck at it comparatively, but you don't understand the
Sentence structure
formatting
and
and the way to structure it. You
right.
know, like your thesis statement and then your supporting points and then breaking that down and getting even further into that. Like think about you go from really general to less general, and then you got the body of it that's getting a very specific and really getting into the details of it, and then you start to taper off and you get more general again and you close it out. And they say that like your opening sentences and that kind of stuff should almost just be like a reworded version of that should be your closing sentences and stuff too. And there's this
Yeah,
whole way to do it. And the more conscious you are of being able to write with that setup, the more like other people in like education see that and they're like, okay, this guy's good. He knows what he's doing. But I
right,
mean, that's kind of just a self-serving thing to where it's like the only people that are really going to pick that apart and see if you're good at it or not are like college professors, right?
right.
Like I'm sure whatever, like you probably don't have as much of that formal knowledge with that, but I'm sure these things you're writing are good. And a lot of people that write they're writing beautifully, and they might not have like a teacher like a teacher might give them a C on it or something if they're writing like a paper on it for their class. Or, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I
You
think
know, like
whatever I write, the
Substack is good.
content is an A plus, but maybe the grammar and the punctuation probably needs a little work. You know what I mean?
A lot of your biggest content creators didn't go to college and stuff, and they'll say don't go to college. And
Yeah.
like, okay, Dan Coe, I think he went to college. I don't know. But I bet if you read it, he's got his own style that people love, and it might not necessarily be, you know, the way that you're supposed to do it in college or whatever. But either way, it
Right.
gave me a certain level of confidence. Like I write the newsletter where I'm at, and I haven't had any complaints. I've had a couple grammatical mistakes. It's funny how, dude, it's funny how good of a proofreader you become when you're reading the final printed version that can't be
Of
changed
your own
anymore.
stuff?
It's like I've looked at this. I looked at this a million times
Yeah.
and I couldn't find mistakes. But there's something about your eye and your ability to see it once it's too late. Boy, can you
Yeah,
notice that stuff
dude.
immediately, bro. It's
So on
never
this
been
Substack, I wrote one really good, like a very heartfelt, thoughtful piece. It's long and I put a lot of effort into it. And I, like you said, I reread it a million times and I thought it was perfect. put it out to the world. I'm like, fuck, there's some spelling, or not spelling, there's some grammar and some little things, or I repeat the same sentence twice. Or it's crazy how we don't notice it when we're really looking for it.
Overuse a word too close together. I hate that.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes, but I usually pick that up. There's more like subjective, like there's some things that people will consider a run-on sentence that other people will say, not necessarily, that's not too bad.
Right.
Or, comma use. Some people are a little...
I'm a real liberal with my commas.
Yeah. And I don't think people, especially in that type of stuff like content, I don't know how many people are really going to pick you apart on that. As long as you're not misspelling, I think you're okay. And
right.
It's not like blatantly like...
Or miscontextualizing things.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
It's fun though. And I think when it comes to like creating content, or like if you're going to start trying to write your own newsletter and you're not comfortable writing, at least be good at writing prompts. You might not have to
tell AI what you want.
Yeah. And I think that's going to be the future. Prompt writing is going to be a new skill. And dude, it's a rabbit hole. You can get like, there's skill to it. There's insane skill that people.
So the way you're saying that, I haven't delved into that rabbit hole yet. My brother, he was trying to tell me about it. He's like, there's this whole art on how to prompt AI, and there's courses, there's classes, there's teachers, there's coaches. I'm like, huh? Like, what do you mean? Like, I just go into AI and I'm like, hey, I need a caption, make it go viral, make it funny, make it dark, use these hashtags, use trending hashtags. Like, mine's very basic. I'm like telling it what to do. And now, I mean, since, I've talked to my brother about that, now you're bringing it up, and I've heard it elsewhere in the world. Like, there's probably better ways I could be using AI than I currently am.
And, sometimes less is more. I've gone so crazy where I set the stage and I tell the AI that it's this person and that it does this. And, here's all the different parameters it's going to follow. And you put a ton of time into it, and what you get out of it is good. But then you put that right next to what's a better way of saying this, and then you just say whatever you're going to say without even thinking about it. Sometimes the stuff it spits out is like, it's like, what's a better way of saying this?
Right.
I Lonnie, me and Lonnie, I feel this way, and dude, it'll spit out some crazy stuff. Then too, it's not always the case that you have to get super crazy with the prompts, but there's ways to do it, and there are people that are really good at it and can get some crazy results. I found that writing is one thing. I haven't gotten into any of the because there's versions of GPT right now that you have to pay for. I think it's up to 4, maybe 4.5 or something. I don't know. The free one's still free, and whenever I try to use that to write anything of any like length or anything like that, by the time I make it sound how I want, like by the time I take what it gave me and I edit it back to like something that I'm happy with, I might as well have just written it myself, Sometimes it might give me a little bit of help here and there, but I still am just way more, when it comes to writing stuff, I'm still just happy with what I'm doing. And I think that's going to become more and more of a premium. I think people are going to want actual human created stuff after a while, after everything is AI, video, all that kind of stuff. But
as we wrap up this episode of the Awfl podcast, thank you for joining us. Whether you're a seasoned creator or just starting out, this podcast is for you. Join the Awfl Nation as we build a community of underdogs creating something from nothing. In this episode, we explore creative writing, sales strategies, and digital product development in a digital world. Don't forget to subscribe for more episodes, and please leave us a 5-star review and share with a friend. And let's keep creativity flowing together. Thank you for tuning in.